Good morning, everyone. This is Hema from ISD Academy India Private Limited. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all on behalf of ISD Academy India Private Limited and CS qualifications. ISD Academy on providing quality education, thereby developing skills and enhancing empowerment to professionals by narrowing the gap in expectations between industries and educational institutions. ISDE is an established professional institution well supported by highly qualified, devoted, and experienced professionals. In today's era of AI and machine learning, we are adopting the following training methods for higher efficiency and effectiveness for our corporate employees: group discussion, case studies, role plays, brainstorming sessions, e-learning. We offer a wide spectrum of customer-oriented and customized trainings. Our mission, the mission of ISD Academy is to serve the people of South Asia in creating, communicating, preserving, and applying knowledge, art, and academic values, and in developing leaders and citizens who will challenge the present and enrich the future of our country. Our vision of ISD Academy to be the most globally recognized technical academy in South Asia. We strive to produce highly employable graduates through our dedicated staffs who shall set global standards, making our students technically superior. Our aim is to provide top quality training to your staff, teaching skills that can be transferred realistically to the workplace. Our classes or training is designed to suit your specific audience, incorporating both your industry requirements and business ethos. Today's webinar is about Greenery Revolution in Educational Institution by Green Audit Evaluation as per NAAC criteria. Our resource person for today's webinar is Mrs. G. Sumati. She has completed her diploma in Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Bachelor of Engineering in ECE, Diploma in Industry, pursuing her MS in Energy and Environment. She has a 15-year experience in safety in heavy engineering. Ma'am, welcome you, ma'am. You can take over here. So, ma'am, you there? Sumati ma'am, can you hear me? Yeah. You can start, ma'am.
Hello, Hema, can you hear me? Hema, hello.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible. Yes, ma'am,
Am I
you're
audible?
audible. Yes,
I
yes,
hope
ma'am,
it.
you're audible.
Okay, okay. Good morning to all the participants. Thanks to the organizer who have given me the opportunity to share my learnings with the participants. Let us start with the presentation. Today we are going to see the contents which we are going to see today is the outcome of Green Audit, why Green Audit is required for the institutions. Emma, can you hear me? Change the slide, please.
Your audit. Can you see content?
Yeah, content. Today we are going to see in this presentation what is the outcome of this Green Audit, why this Green Audit is required in all the institutions. Then about introduction about the environment, history, how environmental concern, the environmental has become a worldwide concern. United Nations Sustainable Development Goals on Environment, and what are all the common terms used in the audit. Then what is the Green Audit? What are all the standard parameters which needs to be focused to comply with the statutory requirements? Some of the laws, environmental laws in India, and who are all the governing bodies and their powers. Next. What is the outcome of this Green Audit we are going to see now? Why this Green Audit is required for the institutions? For getting the NAAC accreditation and approvals. If an institute goes for further extension or some other thing, it needs NAAC accreditation. For that, Green Audit is a mandatory requirement. And environmental awards, whichever institution is performing good, they'll be recognized and awards will be given. And funding, in order also to get the funding from the government on environmental projects, audit is required. Also, the students who is doing better in the better environmental projects, it can be recognized through the audit. Compliance to statutory requirements. Pollution control boards have set certain norms to the environment about the emission, water discharge, all those things. For that, through audit, we can recognize through that. And compliance to AICTE policy. All the AICTE affiliated institutions has to submit the annual return. Hence, audit is required. Through audit, you can recognize what are all the waste or emission which is being done to the institutions. To maintain a green campus, Green Audit is through Green Audit you can able to achieve that target. Education is not complete without its application in real life. So to apply anything in life, we must understood the process of the life. Environment is the basis of every life, and everyone's responsibility is to protect and conservation environment through education. And next, introduction. Environment. What is environment? Environment is everything which surrounds us. How we degrade the environment is through our activities. Due to rapid industrialization, urbanization, and the development of science and technology have make life more comfortable to the man, which causes the degradation of the environment. Through these activities, pollution is being created and the pollutants are discharged into the atmosphere, which affects the quality of air, water, and land. Next. Emma, next. Let us see the history, how environment has become a worldwide concern. In 1956, in Japan, one chemical fertilizer industry who has manufactured vinyl chloride and discharged methyl mercury into the water bodies. People over there consumed the fish and got the diseases of Minamata, and it took many years for the country to come out of this disease. Then in 1962, Rachel Carson's book named Silent Spring, which galvanized activism and public policies in many countries. The book talked about the pesticide pollution, how the pesticide affected the food chain and accumulated in the tissues of human beings, which caused the cancer and genetic damage. Subsequently, in 1970 and 75, many countries have adopted the main conference which triggered the environmental awareness throughout the world is the United Nations Conference on Earth Summit, which was held at Rio de Janeiro. Inspired the countries across the globe to act effectively on and save the environment with a sustainable approach. Through this conference, many countries have accepted it as a national strategy for sustainable development, which included the policy and programs to protect the environment and to have a balanced geobiodiversity. Next. Next. Let us see about United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. In the year of 2016, United Nations have made an agenda for 2030. They have set 18 goals to protect the environment. In addition to various aspects, they have made an agenda. In that, 11 Sustainable Development Goals have been the core for environment. Among the bodies under the United Nations, UNESCO and United Nations Environment Program talks about they carry out the activities of environment. UNESCO promotes education for all and protection of the world's natural. It concerned about the protection of the world's natural and cultural heritage. And then United Nations Environment Program. It sets an agenda on global environment and promotes the implementation of environmental dimensions of sustainable development in the United Nations system and serves as an authoritative advocate for the global environment. Now let us next. Let us see the Sustainable Development Goals on environment. There are 11 Sustainable Development Goals, which is core to the environment. Quality education. It's one of the Sustainable Development Goals set by the UN. It talks about the environmental curriculum and green collar skill sets, which means it supports the university with on-campus advocacy and green campus networks. Next is clean water and sanitation. This Sustainable Development Goal protects the freshwater ecosystem. It protects and restores freshwater ecosystem, supporting countries how to monitor and reporting. Goal 7 talks about the affordable and clean energy. How to improve the energy efficiency and how to use of renewables in their countries and cities. Such things are being highlighted in this. Goal 8 talks about decent work and economic growth. The environmental growth of the country should not be through the resource depletion and environmental degradation. It decouples. It states that decoupling environmental growth, economic growth from resource depletion and environmental degradation. SDG Goal 10 talks about reduced inequalities. It protecting human rights about the environmental defenders and ensuring the participatory, fair, and sustainable management of the world's natural resources. Goal 11, sustainable cities and communities. It talks about the low emission, resource efficient urban areas, development of low emission areas. Next. Goal 12, sustainable consumption and production. Sustainable consumption and production means non-polluting production and consumption. How to achieve? how to focus on it. So he talks about that. Goal 13 is climatic action. Reducing climate and air pollutants, addressing deforestation and forest degradation, and supporting the move to low and zero emission economies. Goal 14 talks about life below water. Uh, it talks about the marine pollution, how to address the marine pollution. Goal 15, life on land. It it talks about protecting and restoring the world's wildlife ecosystem and promoting the sustainable use of natural resources. Goal 16 is the last goal of environment: peace, justice, and strong institutions, which enables the countries and communities to develop and enforce effective laws to combat environmental crimes. These sustainable development goals are monitored through the indicators which are set by the United Nations, and many organizations are working on it. In line with that, our country's national policy has been framed according to that. From this sustainable goals only, our framed the national policy on environment. Next. Next. Yeah. So let us see some of the common terms which is being. Oh, Hema, backslide. It is common terms which is being some of the common terms are acts. What is act? It is a broad legal policy or principles. It talks about the principles, or it sets the legal bindings, rules, regulations, and codes. It is a subsidiary of the legislation which is published in the government gazette to become legal. These are the guidelines. Hema, could you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Rules, regulations, and codes. It is a subsidiary legislation published in the government gazette to become the legal one. These are the guidelines which dictates how the provisions in the acts are being applied. Acts give the frame line, whereas the rules, codes, and regulations give the detailed description about the provisions in the act, how to apply about it. Statutory bodies or authorities. These bodies and authorities are the authorized to pass the law and take the decision on behalf of the country. Legal compliance. What is legal compliance? Means to comply with all the necessary laws and regulations applicable. What all the parameters given in that which needs to be complied. All these things comes under the legal compliance. Next. Okay, let's see what is green audit. Official examination of the effect of company or institution have on the environment. It is also an evaluation intended to identify the environmental compliance and the management system implementations, and to find out the gaps, and along with the related corrections. The intention of the green audit is to upgrade the environmental condition in and around the institutes. Through the green audit, one can get the direction as how to improve the condition of the environment. It is carried out with the aid performing tasks like waste management, energy saving, and others like tree plantation, solar energy usage, usage of bicycles to turn into a etc. Like to turn into a better environment friendly institute. Previous incidents which we had seen earlier have cautioned the industries or the globe that set the strategies for environmental security. Setting alone the strategy is not useful until it is being implemented. Next. Objectives of Green Audit. Why we need to do the Green Audit? Obviously to secure the environment and to cut down the threats posed to the environment. Make sure that rules and regulations framed by the government are taken care of. Suggest different parameters, methods, and projects of environmental protection. How standard parameters like water, air, emission norms are being suggested. Next. Steps in Green Audit. Green Audit is being carried out in 3 steps: pre-audit, on-stage, and post-audit. In pre-audit, auditors can make a plan about the audit. They can select the team, they schedule the audit date, acquire background information, and finally they visit the site. On-site audit, they understand the scope, analyze the strength and weakness of the institutions. They conduct the audit, go through all the documentation or projects is being carried out to protect the environment, and they find the gaps, if any, they will note it and put it as an observation. Post audit. After noting all the environmental activities and documentation work, they produce a draft report and finally submit the report to the management. What are all the action plans to be taken, and they also review the action plan. Next. Why Green Audit to institutions? So far, industries are being told to do the Green Audit. It is a mandatory requirement. So through the certification is required for all the industries. For institutions, why it is required for the institutions? AICTE has published an environment policy. In that, it committed based on the sustainable development goals only. It is aligned with. In that policy, they have certain commitments that to educate and employ students in environmental concerns and sustainability. To recognize and appreciate the effect of the students, to encourage the products and projects and initiatives based on environment, plan and implement solution for energy conservation, water management, awards to green campuses. This policy talks about the annual report. All institutions under the AICT has to submit the annual report, and a handbook has to be published. It also advises to ensure the institutions are working under as ISO 14001 guidelines. And to meet the policy objective and long-term goals set by the AICTE, Green Audit is essential for all the institutions. Next. What are all the areas will be focused in the Green Audit are? water, waste disposal system, energy, environmental quality, health, using of renewable energy, and carbon accounting. In water, the auditor sees and evaluates the facilities in the facilities of water intake and the treatment of sewage, water harvesting, how the water is being conserved. Also, water balance they look for. The auditor investigates and suggests the best method to balance the demand and the supply of water. Water harvesting is the best technique to conserve the water. Waste disposal. What are all the measures taken by the institute to dispose hazardous or any other waste and the other solid waste? What are all the recycling methods they have the institute have adopted? What are all the disposal procedure and policies, and suggest the best way to combat these problems? Coming to the energy conservation and methods. What are the energy conservation methods being adopted to reduce consumption and the related problems? Auditor observes the consumption methods adopted for conservation and its effectiveness. Now, environment quality. They look about what are the ambient air quality by measurements obtain noise level in and around the institution. What are all the programs for plantation, green belt, how many trees are planted, or all those things they look after. In health, any occupational diseases or safety measures are undertaken within the institute. Using of renewable energy, resources which can be replenished naturally, like rain, sunlight, wind, are being used, because such renewable resources causes less pollution. Carbon accounting. Carbon dioxide exhaled by they'll see what are the activities which exhales carbon dioxide, through which carbon accounting is done. They suggest the practices to lower greenhouse gases and to make the institute more environment friendly. Standards for discharge of sewage. While discharging the sewage, pollution control board will see the parameters are given here. The pH level in the discharge water should be between 5.5 to 9. Total suspended solid should be 30 milligram per liter. Above this value means non-compliance. Then biological oxygen demand is 20 milligram per liter. Now, last slide talks about water parameters. This is ambient air quality standards set by the Pollution Control Board. So, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, particulate matter of size 10 microgram and 2.5 microgram. In industrial area, the annual measurement should not exceed 50. For an average 24 hours, if you take, it should not cross 80. Like eco-sensitive areas, it is given. The annual measurement, how it is being measured. They take 107 measurements which is being taken twice a week, 24 hours at uniform intervals. For 24 hours, they consider 8 hours or 1 hour once readings. 98% compliance is required in these readings. Any deviation leads to non-compliance, then they can go for Pollution Control Board may ask you to put online monitoring system. 24 hours they can monitor. Every minute data will be monitored if any non-compliance is observed. Whenever any 2 consecutive monitoring value exceeds, it is a right they can ask for a continuous monitoring. Next. Ambient noise standard. The standards have been set for the public, industrial area, commercial area, residential area, and silence zone. In these areas, the noise level should be in the as per the within the specified decibels. If the noise level exceeds the ambient noise standard by 10 decibel, anyone can make a complaint as a nuisance. In industrial area, it should be 75 decibel daytime. In night time, it is 70 decibels. Likewise, commercial area, residential area, silent zone are defined. Government of India, next. Government of India environment policies. This environment policies includes legislations related to environment. National environmental policy is set by Indian government in 2006. Article 21 talks about the national environment policy. Article 48 says protect and improve environment and to safeguard the forest and wildlife of the country. Article 51A describes about the duty of every citizen of India to protect and improve the natural environment, including forests, lakes, rivers, wildlife. Next. Environmental laws. The principles, policies, directives, and the regulations enacted and enforced by the local environment to protect the environment. Environment laws are classified into two categories: pollution control and remediation, and resource conservation and management. The laws are framed based on these two categories. Next. Next. Let us see some of the environment laws in India. The Environmental Protection Act, Environmental Protection 1986, Environmental Protection Rules 1986, Air Act, Water Act, and Public Liability Insurance Act. This Air Act and Water Act comes under the Environmental Protection Act. This Environmental Protection Act is enacted to implement the decisions which were made by the United Nations Conference. It authorizes the central government to protect and improve environment quality, control and reduce pollution from all the sources, and prohibit or restrict the operation of any industrial facility on environmental grounds. It have all the rights. This act, environmental protection rules, it laid down the procedures for setting standards of emission or discharge to environmental pollutants. Air Act talks about how to preserve the quality of air and to control air pollution. What are all the legal aspects to be taken care of to combat air pollution? Water Act. This act is enacted to prevent and control the water pollution. Public Liability Insurance Act. This act was drawn up to provide for public liability insurance for the purpose of immediate relief to the persons affected in case of accidental release of any hazardous substance. Like public Liability Insurance Act, public liability insurance rules also there. Hazardous and other waste management and transboundary movement rules. Manufacture, storage, and import of hazardous chemical rules. Battery management rules and its amendment in 2013. Hazardous waste. That is, hazardous waste is the waste which gives threat to public health of the environment. Hazardous waste and other waste are how to distinguish. Other wastes include waste, paper waste, metal scrap, electronic items, which can be recycled and reused. Hazardous waste is the waste which causes threat to the health of the environment. Hazardous waste, scientific disposal of hazardous waste is necessary, and the hazardous waste management rules talks about gives details about this: how to collect the waste, how to store, how to pack, how to transport and treat in an environmentally sound manner, so that the impact on the human health and the environment can be reduced. The hazardous waste, if any institution is generating hazardous waste through their activities, it has to be disposed of properly. For that, authorized recyclers are available. Through that, agreement has to be made and submitted to Pollution Control Board. Then each and every quantity which you generate, returns has to be submitted, and manifest system to be followed in case disposal action is to be taken. And moreover, beyond 90 days, you cannot store the hazardous waste. Authorization is required for storing the hazardous waste. So if generation is being carried in the institute or any industry. Manufacture, storage, and import of hazardous chemical rules, 1989. This rule says how much quantity of hazardous chemicals can be stored beyond the threshold value. If the storage exceeds, means getting license approval, all those things are described in this act. So this act is enacted to prevent major accidents occurring due to industrial activities. To limit the impact of such accidents, both on the environment and human being, also to provide a procedure for handling of hazardous chemicals. Batteries rules. Batteries rules, this rule applies to everyone who manufacture, import, or assemble, or a consumer, and also the bulk consumers. How to dispose safely is also mentioned in this. This also comes under manifest system. You cannot dispose as such. System has to be followed. Returns has to be submitted twice in a year, if at all any industry or institute is using the battery. Nowadays, buyback system is that from where you are buying, you can dispose to that vendor itself. Next. Biomedical waste management and handling rules. This rule is applicable to the institute or industry where the anatomical waste is being handled, like hospitals, dispensaries, or medical institutions. It is a legal binding for the healthcare institutions to streamline the process of proper handling of hospital waste, such as segregation, disposal, collection, and treatment. Like syringes, soiled gloves, has to be, the waste you cannot dispose of as such. It has to be segregated. Different colors of bags are being advised for storage. Red color bags are for used. Red color bags has to be used for storing the syringes, soiled gloves, and cathedrals, all those things. Yellow color bag used for storage of anatomical waste, sharp needles, blades, and blue color bags for glass and glass vials and other glasswares. And black can be used for non-bio waste. This waste also authorized recyclers are there. Through them only you can take the disposal action. You cannot now the rule also have amendment in 2018 that GPS tracking is being done on the bags. Where it is moving, whether they are incinerating the waste as per the procedure, or they are somewhere they are throwing like that. They are also such a level. Pollution control boards are being monitoring our activities. Now e-waste rules. E-waste like a computer, monitor, printer, which the waste generated through this. So for this waste also, every rules talks about the annual returns. Whichever is applicable, you have to submit the annual returns manifest to the pollution control board. Now noise pollution rules. To reduce the noise pollution and to describe the permit usage of loudspeakers or public address system during night hours or during any cultural occasions. The noise level should not exceed 10 decibel above the ambient noise standards, which we have seen already earlier. Ozone depleting substance rules. Regulating the production and consumption of ozone depleting substance, this rule is enacted. The main cause of ozone depletion is due to the chemicals, especially refrigerants, propellants, hydrofluorocarbons. These compounds, ozone depleting compounds are discharged into the stratosphere, which is being emitted from the surface, mixing, which causes the ozone depletion. This ozone depletion is a worldwide concern, which increases the risk of cancer and other negative effects. Solid waste management rules, 2016. The Ministry of Environment in 2016, the Ministry of Environment came up with the new solid waste management rules. Earlier it was the municipal solid waste management rules. These rules categorize the waste, sixth category of waste management rules, which does not include hazardous or any construction and demolition waste. National Green Tribunal Act. This act. Hello.
Anita. Chep Anita.
Participant, can you please switch off the mic? Okay. National Green Tribunal Act for effective and expeditious disposal of cases pertaining to environmental protection and conservation of forest and other natural resources, and including enforcement of any legal right relating to the environment. This act has been framed. This National Green Tribunal have the powers of the High Court. They can straight away, they are above the pollution control board. They can straight away send a notice to any organization or institution for non-compliance or violation. Atomic Energy Act. The purpose of the Atomic Energy Act is to assure the proper management of sources, nuclear, especially nuclear and the byproduct. Next. Hema, next. Next slide, please. Pollution control authorities in India: Ministry of Environment and Forest, Central Pollution Control Board, State Pollution Control Board, National Green Tribunal. In Environmental Protection Act, Chapter 3 specifically talks about the prevention, control, and abatement of environmental pollution. It has a section specifying the powers and steps that the government has to take to tackle the environmental pollution. In Section 10 of Environmental Protection Act, says the powers of the entry of Pollution Control Board authorities and their inspection. It allows any person appointed by the central government, they have the right to enter within any reasonable hours at any place to inspect. They can perform their duties for examine and test any equipment or record or registers or any documents. They have the rights. They also have the rights to take samples and procedures to be followed in connection with that. The samples can be collected by the appointed authority. The result of such testing can be submitted as an investigation, and they can send a notice for violation. Above all, National Green Tribunal is also there. It's also about the dispute on environmental aspects. Next. Environmental issues has now become a worldwide concern, and it's the duty for every one of us to strive hard for its conservation. If we start within ourselves, it will definitely create a positive benchmark for the success of journey.
Hello, Sumati ma'am.
Environment. See, faculty members, if we these 80 lakh students will be working in different organizations. So if we create awareness about environment in the institute itself, it will have a greater impact to the society. Also, earlier I told about the projects on environment in which is being recognized by the government. One of the college in Maharashtra have taken a project on old pond. Now that pond has become a water sustainable. Water sustainability have been developed through the village authorities. Now the problem of water scarcity is not there in that. In such a way, if we take a small initiative, if the institution is taken, means 80 lakh students will be benefited, and throughout the society as a whole. So for that, to identify the problems and issues and improve, to suggest improvement methods, we can go for a green audit, which is the prime solution under this scenario. Next. Thank you.
Thank you, Sumati ma'am. Thank you for the session. So participants, if you have
Thank you,
any
Hema.
doubts, you can ask the trainer now. You can ask the resource person now. Participants, doubts on Green Audit.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Dr. Aparna from Hyderabad. Actually,
Yeah,
I have
tell
a
me,
question, ma'am. Yeah, I have a
tell me.
question. Actually, this green audit is carried out in educational institution as per the NAAC 7th criteria. So,
Yes.
as per this, there have to be whatever the work is done, which is it is compulsory. So for that,
Okay.
the people the person who is carrying out the green audit, does he or she require any sort of license or any sort of qualification? Qualification means all environmental graduates or postgraduates can do it. So do they need specific accreditation for doing this green audit?
No, accreditation is required, ma'am, but specific qualification is not required. They should be an auditor, like a 14,001. It is ISO. Yeah, ISO 14,001 standard is for environment. They should have completed the audited course. Then only they can audit. They can be an auditor for this.
Okay,
Any graduate.
Okay, anyone can do it. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am. Actually, I am a doctorate in environmental sciences, so
Okay.
we can do this audit, but we need to have ISO 14,001. We have to do this 14,001 course.
The certification course you have to do.
Certification.
Yes, madam.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the information. Yeah, thank you.
Any other doubts? Any other queries from any participants? You can ask the resource person now. So Sumati ma'am, thank you. I think there are no queries then.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Hema. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. So participants, our next complimentary webinar is on Enhance Quality of Higher Education through NAAC. And it's scheduled on February 17, 2021. You can see the registration link in the chat box. Our next complimentary webinar, the topic is Enhance Quality of Higher Education through NAAC. And it's scheduled on February 17, 2021. Kindly register for our next webinar. And please give your valuable feedback to us. This is the link for Google Feedback Review. After this, I'll be sharing the feedback form link for the e-certificate. Please register for our next complimentary webinar. The topic is Enhance Quality of Higher Education through NAAC. And it's scheduled on February 17, 2021. You can see the link in the chat box. And please give us a Google feedback review on the link given. So thank you, Mallika ma'am. Thank you so much for your participation. So I'll be providing you the feedback form link for the e-certificate now. So this is the feedback form link for e-certificates. I request all of you to fill this feedback form for the e-certificate. E-certificate can be given only for the participants who have filled the feedback form link. And another initiative from ISDA Academy in this 2021, that is quality partner for 1 year at no cost terms. Our vision is quality education for all. Quality education is essential to the development of a nation to protect the interest of the country and of the world as a whole. To contribute to UNESCO's sustainable goal, quality education for all, we ISDE, as a part of our corporate social responsibility, we are pleased to enhance the educational quality of institutions by joining hands with educational institutions as a quality partner for next 1 year with no cost terms and keeping only quality in mind. And you can see the link in the chat box now to become a quality partner with us for next 1 year at no cost terms. So you can use this MOU link for registration to become a quality partner with us at no cost terms for 1 year, free of cost for 1 year. So if you have any queries on this, you can contact me. For any queries, please contact myself on the number given.
Hello.
Yes, Murugavel sir, tell me sir.
Yeah, I'm not able to see the chat box here, ma'am.
Okay sir. Murugavel sir, I'll tell my email ID and mobile number
No,
to you.
I can get in touch with the one that is given in the form, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
You can state in that form itself, sir. I'll be in
All right.
touch with you. I'll
All right.
contact you. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Yeah.
Our next complimentary webinar topic is Enhanced Quality of Higher Education through NAAC. For Bhutan people, the NAAC is National Assessment and Accreditation Council. It's scheduled on Feb 17, 2021. The link given in the chat box. Please provide us a Google feedback review in the link provided, and also feedback link for e-certificate has given. Please fill the feedback form. Please provide us your name with proper salutation for the e-certificate and also your college or university name in full. And our new initiative for 2021, that is quality partner for 1 year at no cost terms. Our vision is quality education for all. So quality education is essential to the development of a nation to protect the interest of the country and of the world as a whole. To contribute to UNESCO's sustainable goal, quality education for all, we ISD, as a part of our corporate social responsibility, we are pleased to enhance the educational quality of institutions by joining hands with educational institution as a quality partner for next 1 year with no cost terms and keeping only quality in mind. You can register with us through the link provided. Thank you one and all for joining today. Thank you, Mr. Funshotashi. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kazan Lamu. Thank you.